Hi, this is Coralla at CorallaFickman.com, iStudyGuys.com, iStudyCards.com, Anywhere.com, INIWHERE. All this is under the rubric of WelcomeNetwork.com, and Welcome Network is spelled WYLCOME Network.com. And Pedience.com if you want to pick up any of my writings on all the different aspects of language. I'm currently working on a dictionary on non-American English. And you can go to Pediance, PEDIANS.com. Okay, I've already recorded or done a video on verbs, a couple videos on verbs, okay, irregular verbs in English, how irregular verbs can be translated not just literally but also figuratively. A lot of the things that I have on irregular verbs, you can also go in if you're a Spanish speaker and they're translated. For example, I have irregular verbs translated not just literally but metaphorically into Spanish. There's about 800 cards because there's a lot of different translations. So there are a lot of study cards. Also, when you have a verb in a sentence and you have two verbs in a sentence, now we know what form the first verb goes. The first verb goes into the form that agrees with the subject. Okay, so if it's I, let me just give you a verb. For example, if it's talk, I, you, we, they talk, and then he, she, it talks, and that's grammar. That's no problem. That's the rule. But sometimes you might have two verbs. Did I go like that? Two verbs in a sentence. And when you have two verbs in a sentence, what form does the second verb go? If you have a verb like can, these are more auxiliary verbs, but if you have a verb like can or let me think, will, like I said, these are auxiliary verbs. Should, the second verb goes in its simple form, and the simple form is the verb without the to. So if you have to talk, because to talk is the infinitive, you remove the to, the talk by itself, T-A-L-K, that's the simple form. So if you want to have the sentence, you want to have can and you want to have talk. In a sentence, you say, I can talk, I must talk, I will talk, I should talk. There's no I can to talk or I must to talk. No to. In no form of English, whether you're talking about street English or whatever, there's no to. But if you have the word need or to want, for example, let's use the verb to talk. Now, to need is the infinitive, but if you're going to have to need or to want first, and that's the first verb, it has to agree with the subject. So it's I, you, we, they need, he, she, it needs. I, you, we, they want, he, she, it wants. But let's say you have a second verb in the sentence. So let's use the word talk. So it's I, you, we, they need. Now the second verb is in its infinitive form. I, you, we, they need to talk. He, she, it needs to talk. I, you, we, they want to talk. He, she, it wants to talk. Right? So there, the second verb is in the infinitive form. So I can, I, you, we, they can talk. He, she, it was I, you, we, they, he, she, it can talk. There's no cans. Not when it means to be able to. I, you, we, they should talk. He, she, it should talk. No S at the end of he, she, it for should. Okay? And need, I, you, we, they need to talk. He, she, it needs to talk. I, you, we, they want to talk. He, she, it wants to talk. And by the way, you don't go to. I'm doing that to emphasize the fact that it's in the infinitive form. But that's not the only form that the verb can go in. Can be in. Alright, now there is also the gerund, or the present participle, or as I say, the ing form. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is going to give you verbs in which the second verb is in the ing form, the gerund form, the present participle form. So it's to anticipate. And you can get these cards by going to iStudy Guides or iStudy Guides or iStudy cards. Can't seem to say that. And you can download the cards. And also, we have sets of cards that have been translated into Spanish, so you'll see you'll see sentences on the same card in English and then translated into Spanish, so the person will know what the verb means if you're a Spanish speaker. So, to anticipate. I anticipated returning. To anticipate returning. So the second verb goes into the ing form. Yes? Oh, so I anticipated returning on time. To appreciate. He appreciates receiving. Not he appreciates receive. Okay? Or he appreciates to receive. It's he appreciates receiving the help. To avoid. Alright? So when you have avoid and you have a second verb, it's the ing form. Whenever possible, I avoid visiting him. It's not to visit. It's not visit. It's visiting. Can't bear. Can't bear means to dislike intensely. Okay? He can't bear hearing the truth. He can't bear hearing the truth. Not he can't bear to hear. Well, you can say he can't bear to hear the truth. Yeah, that's one in which you can do both. Alright? Some you can, but you have to, there are very particular ones, and there's no rule. There's nothing to say, in this one you can, and this one you can't. Okay? To be excited about. I am excited about going to the party. So the verb is to be excited about. And what are you excited about? Going to the party. Okay, when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at, here I'm not looking at the web page so much as I'm looking at the cards that you can download. To be worried about. They are worried about writing a long paper. To be worried about. To be interested in. To be interested in. I have never been interested in studying German. That's not true. I am interested in studying German, but I thought it would be a nice sentence. I have never been interested in studying German. To be used to, which means to be accustomed to. I am used to staying up late. I am used to staying up late. I don't have that much time, so let me just give you the verbs. To be committed to be committed to be opposed to be opposed to be responsible for, to be responsible for, to be tired of. Now, I don't have that much time, so let me just say, many times, but I can't say always, when you have a verb and it's followed by a preposition other than to, but even to sometimes, the verb that follows is usually in the ing form. But here's the problem. You might say, well, that's fantastic, but how do I know when a verb contains a preposition of versus for versus to or to? That's the problem. You don't. There's no rule. You have to memorize it. Come into iStudy Guides, iStudy Cards, and you'll find the verbs with the preposition, okay, to help you at least to know some of the most important verbs that are followed by these prepositions, and then the second verb is followed by the ing.